Hello, my name is Jill1990, aka Jolene, and today I'm going to show you a short and my first tutorial on how to use terrain paints on your house and how big of a difference terrain paints can make. Now, I prepared 3 subjects. 1 I already did, like how I see most houses on the gallery, and 2 are blanco to show you the possibilities of what you can do with the terrain paint. So on the left side, the one I'm pointing at, you can see that it's literally a house with just the tiles laid out. There's no terrain paint, nothing, just the same color, grass everywhere. And I see this a lot on the gallery, and what people don't realize is that if you put a little bit of effort and time in your terrain paint around your house, you can make your house look so much better and so much nicer. As much more cozier as well. So, as you can see, the first house is quite bland. It's a basic shape because I didn't want to make something very complicated. But you can see no terrain paint around the edges, no wear and tear on the grass. It's not very realistic, and that's what my channel and what I am all about. Now, I have these other 2 lots, and I will do 2 things with these. This one, I will use tiles in combination with the terrain paint and try to make that look nice and show you how you can do that. And on the last one, I will do the garden using only terrain paint. No tiles, nothing at all. I will just use the spray paint. Because as you know, I'm quite good with the terrain paint since I do a lot of these terrain paintings. And we will start with the second home. So the first thing we'll do is we'll go and select a tile. Let's just go for coherency with the exact same tile, right? And we will make our pathways in here. Now I see I made a mistake here. Let's fix that. We can fix that later. And let's have the same setup as on the other house. Just to show you, you can still use tiles and make it look very nice. Now, as you can see, it's almost an exact copy at the moment, but we will transform this lot completely by going into your terrain paints. You can find your terrain paints if you don't know the game yet or you just had it, underneath the fountain. You will see this icon. If you click it, you will see the terrain paint tools. Now, if you click any of those, you'll get your radius. And you can change your radius by clicking each of these settings. This will give you a large round radius, an even larger round radius, and the same count for the squares. Big square, medium square, bit smaller square, an even smaller square, and teeny square. Now what I'm going to do first is, I am going to give the grass more texture, because this is a bit bland. So you see this bar underneath. If I put this full power, that is way too strong. I do not prefer using that strength of a brush. So if you slide it down, it's like the hardness of a brush in a painting program, like Photoshop or Manga Studio, whatever you're using. So you bring that slider down, and you select the grass you like. So I want to go for a nicely fleshy mode lawn with stripes on it. So the first thing I'll do is I'll go for another tint of grass, and I will lower my walls because that is easier. And I will paint the grass. As you can see, the density isn't that big. I'll just make it a bit bigger, just so I have everything in there. So basically, if you put it on the completely left side of the slider, it will fill up everything that you see in that square. Literally everything, right? So we have our base coating. It's a lot like making a painting, actually. Now, as you can see, we have the green right here. Now, you can opt for another kind of green. I'll most of the time go for this kind of green. And then I choose this line because this looks the most normal for a lawnmower. And we will make lines in the grass. So let's adjust the softness to about 60%, and very slowly, this is not something you rush, you use your mouse and you draw your lines towards you. And this will give you a nice stripy effect of freshly mowed grass. Now, like I said, you have to be very patient, because if you do this too fast, it might not work out. I can do this fast because I have a drawing tablet, which I'm not using at this moment though. I want to add that. Always trying to make sure you're on the same line, so it has some coherency with the rest. As you can see, I'm trying to do my best to keep that on the same line. We will also do that over here. And we'll pull this line here. Very slow, so you have full control over your mouse, because the slightest hiccup and you have a crooked line. And you don't want that. If you want to know how I'm moving the camera like this, I have the Sims 3 camera option unlocked. That will give me more control over my camera and lets me control the angle a lot better. So we'll just continue making these lines going down here. Again, very slow. I'm not gonna speed this up because these are small lots, and you need to realize how slow this can go sometimes. As you can see, I messed up a little bit there, but I can fix that easily. That's what you get when you try to be too fast. We'll also have to fill it here, here, here. So on this side, it doesn't really matter how you put them, as long as it looks like they line up here. So that's not too bad. And then we'll make more lines over here. It looks a bit odd at this moment, but once this is done completely, this bit of house, then you will see the effect it has if you add some flowers on it. Now, as you can see, if I go full screen now, it looks like a freshly mowed lawn of grass, right? Now, we're not done yet, because there is plants all over this place, and you don't want them to look like you just plonked them down. So what you do is you go to your dirt section, which is the bottom one, as you can see here. You get your dirt one, you put the hardness to the softest you can to get full control about the amount of softness you will put in on the ground, and then you just hover around it a few times in a circle motion, so it looks like there's a patch of dirt there. As you can see, now there is dirt in the nice mowed grass around the tree where it belongs. We will do the same at this bush. Again, we will take our brush, take our time, don't be too quick, and you just go over the spot where the tree and the bush is more than the other bits, because, you know, like, some bushes don't just stand in normal grass, it looks like they have some dirt. Also, we'll do the same over here. Put some dirt here, and we'll go over here. The reason why you don't hear any noise is because I turned off the noise, because otherwise you would hear the noise the whole time, and I don't want to do that to you guys. So, now we have our garden bits. Yeah, not too shabby yet, right? Looks a hell of a lot different already if you compare this to the other house. What we'll do now is, there is a house there as well, and that house is built on the grass, so you can't have perfect grass right next to your house. That makes it look less realistic to me. So what I do again is I put the hardness at around 25-ish%, and I go for the smallest round brush, and you go around the house like this. It doesn't need to be much, just a tiny bit. Again, like that. And we'll go around this way. It's okay to, like, go out a bit by accident, it doesn't really matter. We will also do this around the pathways, to make it look like there is a little bit of an edge between the grass and the pathways. We will go this way. Continue. this way, and we'll have this stretch as well. Well, I'll stop it right here, and I'll explain why later. We'll finish this line. The slower you go, the more control you have over it. The faster you go, the more faded it will look, and it won't look like you had, you know, proper control over it. Which makes sense. So you go over it like this, very slowly. And you go this direction. And you go this direction. Now, this looks like the house has been built on the grass, and you can see discoloration on the sides. This is also already a hell of a lot of difference than the house next to it, isn't it, guys? So, what we do now is we are going to take this flowery pattern, put this to the softest, and we're going to try to put some flowers on this grass. Look what happens if you put this slider too high. It will cover up the lines like completely, and we don't want that. We just want some flowers to appear. So all we do is we tap with our mouse button. We don't hold it, we just tap. See, I hold it too long there. Just one single tap. Again, one single tap. Go to a smaller brush. I'm just tapping once on my mouse button just to have a few flower shapes appear on the grass. I don't know if you can hear that, but I am. There you go. Now, one of the last steps we will do, because the grass isn't good yet, because if you look here, there's a bench here, and there's a play area here for your kids. And when you play on this thing, you fall down, you run towards it. You want this to look like people use this thing. So what we'll do is, we will go again for this brush with the grass, and we will make a slight pathway towards it. It looks very harsh at the moment, but if you hang on, we'll make this look completely normal. And we will just fill this in with this broken grass, because your grass can't survive for long if you have kids jumping up and down the whole time. Now, as you can see now, it looks a bit dilapidated, but it's still a bit too grassy. It's better if there's some sand underneath it. So if you go to the sand option, we will go for a smaller brush that fits under here, and we'll just gently fill the middle up with some sand. And after that, we'll go to the even smaller brush, and we fill that middle up with some darker sand. There we go. Now, this looks like kids have used this. We'll go back to the other brush now, and we will put the hardness a little bit less, and tap a few times going towards the bench. A few times, not too much. And just have it like that, and now it looks like someone walked to the bench a couple of times already. The thing we can next is we can also have a few more flower variations in here. For instance, some few white dots. And a little detail I always like to add is to add actual grass. So if you go to your plants and a tree option, you see the first option, green grass. Now, if you just plonk down a few of these on your lot, like so. Not too much. If you do too much of them, it's over the top. We don't want to go over the top with this. And we'll go here. Here. Didn't remove objects on, but that is okay. Now, if you look at this now, with the roof up, the right house looks a lot more inviting than the left house already. This is one of these examples what the terrain art and the terrain paint on a lot can do to your house. Now, on the right one, what we are going to do is we are going to use only terrain paints. So we will choose a tile. In this case, I will choose the bricks over here. We will go to the square ones because we'll need to make the pathway ourselves. Go to full opacity on this lap on this bar, and then we'll just stretch out this way. We'll bring that towards there. Don't worry about it going over the line because there would be grass growing on that side, so there's time to change and edit that. And over here, just the exact same thing. You make your driveway. At least I like to make my driveways like that. Let me find a good angle. There we go. And we'll go this way now. Don't worry if you trip a bit with your brush, it's okay because, like I said before, you will be painting grass as well after this. Now, I would like this to not be straight. That was my fault. So what I'll do is I will cover this up real quick with some random grass, and I will go for the same brush. And I will make this squiggly path to make it look a bit more naturey. What we can do is we can go this way, right here. We'll have a thing that splits off that goes that direction. There you go. Now, what we'll do now is we will do the grass first. So this one will be this lot will not be freshly mown. This will be a lot that is, you know, it's been there for a while and no one done anything on it. So we'll just use a tactic I used before. We just tap once. You know, make little spots. Put the brightness to the contrast a bit lower. Make little spots, and you just keep adding it up after this. Keep adding up more grass, more textures. So it looks like it's grass that's been there for a while, and you know, it's been used. So we'll make some darker patches everywhere. There we go. We'll put some flowers down at some places. That's a bit too harsh, so we'll lower the opacity a bit. Have some flowers here. Have some flowers there. Maybe have some flowers here around the tree. And have some flowers around here as well. Around the tree again. So just try to make it look a bit more naturey. A bit more painted on. I personally prefer to make my gardens like this. With the terrain paint tools. Because I have a lot more control over the direction of my pathways and where everything is. Now, let's put some smaller ones down, some yellow flowers. And we'll do the same thing again with the grass that we did here next to the pathway, but we'll just use it on this pathway. So this will put the hardness not too high, because otherwise we will go over our main pathway. The thing with the softness is, the softer your bar gets, like the lesser the spaces that's being filled in. So this basically means that I have a very thin line of this texture at the moment, and that allows me to make it look like this, and it also even looks like it runs over slightly into the road, which is a nice thing, to be honest. It's a really nice effect that it has. We'll also do this next to the house. As you can see, this looks a lot more natural, a lot more, you know, vibrant, and a lot more cozy as well. There we go. We'll go here. Because like I've said it again, I personally find that terrain paint makes or breaks your build. You can make the most amazing house on the outside, like the house on the house itself. It might look fabulous, it might look amazing. If your terrain paint is just green with no changes, no details. That takes away so much of your house. I saw so many of these potentially great houses on the gallery, and then you look at them closely and then you notice there's nothing done on the outside. The garden looks very dull and boring, and that really takes away. It's always a shame when you see that, or when I see that. I don't know how you guys think about it. But now, we went around the entire house again with the tiles. As you can see, it's starting to look quite nice already. We'll do the same underneath these monkey bars. We'll do it less harsh this time. Put 2 lines right there. We'll go for the dirt option. Go for the dark dirt. Make the brush a little bit thicker. And then go in the middle. Like so. And we will also put some broken grass underneath the bench right here. Doesn't need to be a lot, just a bit. Because that area gets less light, if you think about it. Now, we will go back to our dirt patches right here and do the area underneath the garden parts. So, we'll go like so. We'll have an area right here as well. And we have an area right here that we need to do like that. I am going to turn move object on real quick. That's bb.moveObjects_on. And this will allow me to, if you don't know the cheat yet, to place objects wherever I want them to be. So I went for the same grass again we used in the other lot, but I'm going to use it a bit more extensively in this case. And I will be using some of the tips and tricks I know and I use a lot. So basically what I do here is I hold Alt and I hold Shift at the same time. This will allow me to rotate the objects however I want and to place it wherever I want, and the Shift will just instantly replenish the item I have without going back to the menus. But this only works if you have the Sims 3 camera on, I might say on that. If you have the Sims 4 camera on, this does not work. But I am going to put a lot of grass down now to make it look like it's a cozy, warm place with people that aren't too fond or too focused on, you know, mowing their lawn the whole time. So we'll go like that. We'll go like this. And we'll put a little bit over here as well. Now, I'm not going to do the exterior of the houses. That's for another video. I'm going to use these houses and show what you can do with the exteriors if you used some of the basic materials you have available to you. Like I said, this is not for a video for now. Now, you can also just add some rocks to it. I'm not going too into it because I don't want this video to become too long. You can add a few rocks. So in this case, I click the rock I want. I hold left Alt. I click and hold my left mouse button and I drag around like so. And we'll just put a few rocks down. And there you go. That is the third way of doing it. So if you look at this, this is what most people do. The left one. It's a bit dull, it's standard, it's not horrible, but it looks dull. Then you have the second option where you still use the tiling. And you use terrain art paint to make those things stand out, which also looks quite nice. And then you have the third option over here, which lets you have a lot more control and a lot more bendy bits because you're not using actually tiling. And also a very fun part about this last one is, imagine you have a really abandoned place or what your driveway to look used by a car. You can just go to this grassy bush, right, scratch it in patches, put the density to low, and you can have little tiny dirt patches on there. Look at that. Like the dirt is growing through the creases of the floor. Which works really well, actually. I really like using this in my own builds. As you can see. It's quite a nice effect. Right here. So like, it looks like a car has been driving on it and stuff, so that's nice. I left this front area naked because I always like it when I have a house to have my fence a little bit away from everything and put gravel or something in front of it, like so. So divide the house. That's just something I do. Anyway, these are the three main differences. All of these houses like have a completely different vibe over them, and that's the power of terrain tools in this game. If you use them well, if you use them patiently, you can do the most amazing stuff with it. That was all for this video. I hope you liked the tutorial. It's a bit lengthy, but I want to give you all the information you need to be able to do this. And I hope that you will return for my other tutorials, because I'm planning on doing the exterior of houses next time. And if you liked the video, if you liked the channel, please leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you next video. Also, do not forget to check out my other videos that I have available. I have terrain art, I have showcases of my builds. In the future, I will have digital paintings with proper terrain, proper art programs as well. And I hope you enjoyed it. Bye bye.